Why do we need to teach psychology in our architecture, urban design, and interior design schools? Simply because as architects, interior designers, and urban designers, we design for humans, we design for people, and we almost study nothing about the psychology of humans and the human behavior. So we don't know anything about the end user, the people that we are designing for. And it's the other way around. Psychologists almost study nothing about architecture, interior design, and urban design. After all, this is not even their field or what they are studying. So if you bring, for example, an interior designer and a psychologist in the same room and you ask them to come up with sort of a systematic scientific approach in order to achieve positive psychological impact through design, it will be a very hard task for them. So what is the solution? Let's teach psychology to architects, interior designers, and urban designers. We have around 15 schools of psychology with high potential, and we need to teach them in our design schools. Previously, we spoke about how to differentiate between the three categories of architecture, urban design, and interior design when we deal with human-centric design. And we spoke about the psychodynamic theory, so how emotions, thoughts, and early life experiences shape the person we turn out to be. The psychodynamic theory has a huge potential, and we need to teach it to designers in order to know how to actually design what we refer to as positive psychological impact design elements to all categories of design, because simply if we design a city taking into consideration all the positive psychological impact design elements, yet your house, the place where you live, is chaotic and not well designed, we will not be achieving what we are looking for. Which brings me to the second school of psychology, which is environmental psychology. Environmental psychology studies how the environment, either the built or the natural environment, impact the behavior of the inhabitants, and how the inhabitants impact the environment. It's a two-way process. A simple example would be, we definitely know if we design a street with not enough space for people to walk, they will always have the feeling of risk to get hit by a car. They will always have this fear, which will impact their behavior in general. They will always be having this feeling of fear. If we design enough space for people to walk, to cycle, for example, to socialize, that's a different story. The third school of psychology is behavioral psychology, not in a sense of social engineering the behavior of people or sort of dictating a certain behavior to the people, but in a way that we mitigate or eliminate criminal behavior. So we know for sure that a chaotic, dirty city is likely to increase the crime rates and the aggressive behavior, and we do have tools as architects, urban designers, and interior designers to mitigate or eliminate these aggressive behaviors and lower the crime rates. The fourth school of psychology with high potential, and we need to teach it in our design schools, is evolutionary psychology. And evolutionary psychology is very interesting because it brings together evolutionary biology and cognitive psychology. So it studies the evolutionary roots of the behavior of the people. So if we know the roots of the behavior, we can deal with it in a better way. And the potential is that we can actually study the evolution of behavior through design. So the fifth school of psychology is positive psychology. And the mainstream psychology tends to focus on what is wrong with people rather than what is right. It focuses on the problem, not the potential. While if we focus on what is right, we focus on the potential, we will have much better results. So previously we mentioned the example of studying the potential of the people in a certain city or a district. So for example, if they are good at a certain recipe, we design places for them where they can actually promote the recipe, restaurants, marketing areas, so they feel a sense of achievement and it strengthens their identity. For example, if they are good at a certain type of music or art, we can do the same story. So studying the potential, enhancing it, working what is right rather than what is wrong through positive psychology can lead to much better results. So positive psychology also has a huge potential if we explore further the links between positive psychology and design. So in this video, we spoke about why we need to teach psychology in our architecture, interior design, and urban design schools, and we spoke about 5 schools of psychology with high potential and we need to teach them in our design schools, which are the psychodynamic theory, environmental psychology, behavioral psychology, evolutionary psychology, and positive psychology. So that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you soon.